What it is, what it do? It's your boy, JQilin here, with another episode of Doki Doki Blue Skies. Last episode, we got cucked. Got cucked hard. It hurt really badly. I shared a personal story, so that was fun. If you missed the episode, be sure to go back and watch it because it was pretty sad. In any case, we're here. It's New Year's Eve. We're gonna see if we get our payoff this time around. So if you're excited for that, be sure to hit the like button and stay tuned because I'm not wasting any more time. December 31st, the last day of the year. As I push myself up, my gaze floats across the room. It looks exactly the same, save for the tea set on my desk. In a strange way, it's like Yuri's presence is here with me. A strange feeling courses through me as I recall the shy, nervous look on her face as she handed me the gift. A feeling that only grows stronger as I recall the quiet, intimate moment we had with each other after the other girls left. It was definitely not an unpleasant feeling, but it does feel confusing. I feel warm inside, but it's a foreign sensation. What exactly are Yuri and I? Well, you two are in love, obviously. I mean, you're about to kiss each other. You're sure Yuri never imagined doing that with anybody before, and it seems like you've definitely crossed the whole platonic friend barrier. Part of me wants to take Yuri out on a date, but, well, I don't know what to do. Taking her out for coffee or tea seems a bit basic. I mean, you kind of went out with a date with her before. Going to the bookstore and the cafe and things like that. You just never called it a date, but you've technically been on dates with her already. But she likes tea, though. So maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. Having finished my morning routine, I find myself sitting at the kitchen table, idly scrolling through my phone. Maybe some fresh air will help me place my thoughts. That's much better. The air is a bit biting, but I'm wrapped up warm, so it feels more like a refreshing coolness. Unfortunately, I left my gloves at home, so my hands are being subjected to the full wrath of the December air. Put your hands in your jacket, bro, or put them in your pocket. Man, it'd be nice to have Yuri's hands to warm mine up. Ooh. Yeah, our boy's 10 toes deep, 10 toes deep in love with Yuri. There's no question about it. Maybe I should just ask her to be my girlfriend. Yeah! I mean, despite her being unsure of what we were, it's obvious that she likes me, right? I mean, she was about to kiss you. She had your hands on her shoulders, you had your hands around her waist, and she didn't protest. So, like, I think she likes you, my dude. How do you ask, though? Hey, I like you, and I've been thinking about taking our relationship to the next level, you know? So, if that's alright with you, would you like to become my girlfriend, you know? Just ask her. Hi, Yuri, I like you, and I think you like me too, so do you want to be my girlfriend? Nah, that just sounds childish. Sarah and I used to say that stuff to each other when we were really little. A white bow coming to my peripheral vision snaps me out of my inner turmoil. What's Monica doing out here? Hey, Kilin. I didn't expect to see you about. Looks like you've gone for a walk. Oh, hey Monica. Yeah. I was in the mood for some fresh air, so here I am. Do you have any plans for New Year's? Kind of. I used to just watch the fireworks on TV with my parents, but they're not around this year. I guess I could just watch them at home. I choose not to divulge the fact that I'm stuck for date ideas. At least not yet. Monica studies me for a moment. Her gaze feels like an X-ray, and I feel like she's somehow reading directly into my mind. Say, Kilin, would you like to see the fireworks? Would you say that fireworks can be described as romantic? Yeah, forget Paris or the Eiffel Tower. Exploding gunpowder and pyrotechnics are what comes to mind when someone says romance. I laugh, but her knowing smirk doesn't move. If I were interested in someone, I would think taking them to see the fireworks for New Year's would be a perfect way to start our relationship. Woo! Basically what Monica's saying is, hey, boy, take Yuri out to see the fireworks and get it going. He's like, eh? Where's this coming from? Come on, Killin, you can't be this dense. There's a firework display in town. If you head to the Skytree Tower, you're guaranteed an amazing view. They start at 10 and finish at midnight. You do have to book, but it's only like 430 yen. Nice way to start the new year, if you ask me. She winks at me. Well, I suppose there's no sense hiding or trying to play naive. Yuri and I were pretty obvious on Christmas Day. Oh man. Oh, so is this where we're gonna get our payoff? At the Skytree Tower in Tokyo? New Year's Day? Trust me when I say you should take her. You think? I know. I've seen how you two have been acting together over the past few months, and to be honest, it's about time you got together. Have we really been that obvious? Yes! Especially at the Christmas party. A smile is my only answer. I sigh. Anyway, what about you? What are you up to today? Don't suppose I'll see you under the fireworks tonight? Maybe with some hotshot tennis player? I nudge her, but to my surprise, she doesn't even smile. It's only when I probably look at her do I see the bags under her eyes. She snorts derisively. I don't think there's much of a chance of that happening. Poor Monica, she's been pushing herself hard. Even her voice sounds a little drained. I've been busy. With what? She hesitates for a moment, looking aside for a moment, also using for a moment twice in the same sentence. Just my parents' business. It's nothing I can't handle. Well, make sure not to push yourself too hard, okay? I know you are president and all, but everyone needs a break. I feel kind of bad knowing that you're encouraging Yuri and I to spend time together when it looks like you can't even relax yourself. She looks up to me, surprise written over her face. Thank you, Killin. Your concern is appreciated. I'll try and bear that in mind. She briefly checks her watch. Is that the time already? I've got to go, unfortunately. I need to pick some stuff up from the shops for my parents. Catch you later, Killin. See you, Monica, and thanks for the fireworks suggestion. She smiles and waves, leaving me to ponder her current life situation. I just hope she'll be okay. Oh well, Monica's in my focus for now anyway. Unfortunately for all you Monica fans out there, you know, Monica's not our focus. Though I think we have... I'll have to check this out, because I think we have Monica, like, not a full Monica rap, but Monica scenes I need to look at. I dig out my phone and navigate to Yuri. Hey, Yuri.
Good afternoon, Killin. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. My fingers hesitate over the screen. Are you busy tonight? Well, didn't you just say at the Christmas party that you wanted to spend New Year's with her? And she said yes? So why are you gonna ask if she's busy tonight? I thought you two were gonna be spending time together.
I think I'm free. Why?
Another bout of hesitation. Come on, Killin. She likes you too. Do you want to check out the fireworks with me tonight? Monica mentioned that we can go to the Skytree Tower. I can see Yuri typing a message, but the seconds that tick by feel like hours. An awful lot is resting upon those 3 dots. The anticipation is maddening.
I'd love to. What time do they start?
The feeling of relief coursing through me makes my body feel much, much lighter. Almost to the point where I could just float away.
Why was I even nervous?
Monica said they start around 10, so you want me to come over a bit earlier? Oh, so would you want to come over a bit earlier? We can hang out and then go from my house.
Of course. Is it okay if I come over at 7 p.m.? There are a few errands I need to run.
Dang, 3 hours ahead of time? Sure thing. I'll see you at 7 then.
I look forward to it.
Oh, with a little smiley face. Yo! Well, all things considered, that could have gone a lot worse. I mean, bro, you technically had nothing to worry about. You're basically in there. You just need to seal the deal, then start the relationship. Although I'm relieved, I can't help but feel apprehensive about how tonight will go. I mean, A date with Yuri? Like I said, you've technically already been on a series of dates with her. You just never considered them as dates. But everything's been kind of leading up to this point, you know? Under the fireworks? On New Year's Day? Yeah, it's very romantic, eh? It's a very good situation. We almost kissed last time, and now there won't be anyone to interrupt us. Also, there are gonna be a bunch of people kissing on top of the Skytree Tower as Auld Lang Syne plays for New Year's Day. So it's as appropriate a time as any to be kissing her. Oh man, I really hope I don't mess up our first kiss. I hope so too, because the payoff, I want the payoff. Maybe I could Google it? You know, the WikiHow article shows on how to kiss somebody. Step 1, make sure your breath is clean. Step 2, get close to them. Step 3, place your lips on top of the other person's lips. Step 4, optional, use tongue. I laugh as I slip my phone back into my pocket. Man, I really need to get rid of these Christmas decorations. So soon? The Christmas was only like, what, 6 days ago? Most people don't take out their Christmas decorations at least halfway into January, if not a bit later than that. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Besides, I don't think Yuri would mind. The fireplace is still going, that's pretty nice. It's been a few hours since I got back from my walk. Since then, I decided to cook some more salmon teriyaki, as I still had a surplus of the ingredients from Christmas Day. I'm still surprised at my own cooking prowess. The days of ready meals and unhealthy snacks seem to be long ago. It's safe to say that Yuri has definitely changed my life, for the better. I jumped slightly at the sound of my doorbell ringing. Wow, is it really 7 o'clock already? Looks like our day is already upon us. Stay calm, Qilin. Stay calm. With one last quick deep breath, I swing the door open.
Good evening, Qilin.
Yuri, hey! Without thinking, I dart forward and wrap her into a hug. Yo! The sudden action catches Yuri off guard. That much is obvious by how she startles. She eases into the gesture and tentatively slides her arms around me. She smells wonderful and feels so warm.
Not that I'm complaining, but what brought this on?
It's only as we break apart does my brain finally catch up. I don't think I've ever been so forward with Yuri before. Did it really just do that? I don't know. Guess I'm just really happy to see you. So sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable.
No, it's okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You're quite a good hugger, Qilin.
Yeah! 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 Yeah, it's funny too, because I've been told by quite a few women in my life that I'm quite the good hugger as well, so... it's good to hear. Makes me feel good. You too. Anyway, come on in. She smiles gratefully and steps into the hallway, closing the door softly behind her.
So, we have 3 hours until the fireworks start. What would you like to do in the meantime?
Well, I could think of a couple things we could do in the meantime. That's a good question. We normally read a book or cook, right? Well, I already made some teriyaki, and I don't think you have any books on you, right? She nods. How about we try VN? Oh, okay.
VN?
Oh, sorry. A visual novel.
A visual novel?
You know, like the game we're playing right now. Like the game that we're currently in. Yeah. Are you familiar with them?
Yes, I am. Although I can't say I've tried any myself. They're essentially text-based stories where you play as a computer or a video game, correct? With art, such as sprites.
I guess they're kind of like a halfway point between the traditional methods of storytelling you prefer and the manga that Natsuki likes.
I suppose that's one way of looking at them.
She doesn't seem as enthused compared to when we were talking about normal books, which is a shame. Well, maybe you could change your mind. You don't look too keen.
Oh? I don't. Sorry, I didn't mean to look bored or anything. Ooh.
She takes a moment to compose herself.
Let's give it a try, Qilin. I believe it'll do me well to try a new medium of storytelling, and I shouldn't be dismissive just because it's different from what I'm used to. So, what did you have in mind?
Well, I know how much a good story means to you, so I've got just a visual novel. You ever heard of this game called Doki Doki Literature Club? It's a very good story. Basically, it's about a bunch of students who get locked into the school, and the only way to escape is to kill someone else and not get caught in the class trials that happen after a murder. Oh, Danganronpa! Oh, I think we're gonna play Danganronpa. That's cool. Trust me, it's full of twists, and I want to see if someone as smart and analytical as you can figure out who the murderers are in the cases. It really raises a lot of questions about what lengths people will go to survive, and the characters are fantastically written.
Ah, a murder mystery. Are there any horror elements by any chance?
Unfortunately not. It can get quite tense, and some of the chapters are fairly creepy though. I mean, you have that one scene where the one girl wrote out the murderer's name in blood. I would say that's gory. Trust me, even without horror, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it.
Okay then. I'll trust you on that. Let's go.
Nearly 2 hours have passed as I introduced Yuri to the game. Needless to say, it's proven to be a large hit with her. A surprise to be sure, but not an unwelcome one. Okay, Lord Palpatine. A surprise to be sure, but not an unwelcome one. Ah, prequel memes. Yes, bring all the prequel references, yes. Yes, the power flows through me. Unlimited power! We just reached the second trial, and although Yuri was keen to press on and find out who the killer of the chapter was, we have to get a move on.
A true predicament. Do you risk permanently blackening your conscience in the name of freedom? Or can such an act be excused in such circumstances? Obviously, murder is wrong and outside of self-defense, never tolerated in society. But it's safe to say that in those walls, the regular rules of society don't apply.
Somehow I knew you'd like it. Anyway, we should probably get going soon. Also, did he register? Did he book a space in the Skytree Tower? Oh, I almost forgot. For the fireworks, we have to book online. Can you search the tower online? Nigga, you didn't register, and it's almost time to go? Bro, it might be already full. She complies, and within minutes, the appropriate phone number is on the screen. Anyway, I need to use the bathroom real quick, so I'll be back in a second. Date with Yuri under the fireworks. Oh, is he gonna walk in on her with a knife? Haha, it really does sound like a stereotype. To my surprise, however, Yuri is just sitting there, awkwardly twiddling with the phone in her hands. Yuri? Did you ring them? I kinda assumed you would, given that I went to the bathroom.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Well, I know that she struggles with talking to people face to face, but over the phone as well? You know, I'm gonna say encourage her to call because that seems like the right thing to do. But in case something goes wrong, I'll just go in the time machine. Hey, I know it might be a little daunting. Heck, I don't think anyone enjoys talking over the phone to a stranger. But I know you can do this.
Really? I must look so stupid.
You don't. Talking to people is hard for you, so maybe I shouldn't have suggested it.
No, I think you're right. I can do this.
I give her an encouraging smile. Of course you can. She types a number on her phone. You've got this.
Hello. I'd like to book a slot at this Skytree Tower for 2, please.
She looks over at me, and I smile and nod in affirmation. The rest of the phone call carries on fairly uneventfully. Aside from an odd stutter, it was pretty much flawless on Yuri's part. See? That wasn't so bad, was it?
I'm not sure. I did stutter a lot.
Nah, it was barely noticeable. Everything sorted?
Yes. We'll give them the money when we arrive.
Sounds good. I know that wasn't easy for you, Yuri. So I want you to know that I'm proud of you, okay?
Thank you. I'm glad that I did it as well.
See, you made the right choice. I can't make good choices. Sometimes. I'm 3 for 5 so far. Urgh, it's cold out, isn't it? At least the snow's gone, though. The soft warmth slowly makes my way over my cold hands. I quickly notice where the warmth comes from. I'm very embarrassed at blushing Yuri. Oh, they're holding hands?
You don't mind, do you? I figured with our combined heat we could...
She moves to withdraw her hands, but I hold firm. It's okay. Your hands feel really warm, and I like being able to do this with you. I swallow as a tiny bead of sweat forms my forehead. Yuri smiles bashfully, but keeps her hands locked around mine. Oh, hand-holding, how lewd. Ugh. We reached the hand-holding portion of the mod. Ugh. How lewd.
I've never held hands with someone before.
What about your parents?
Well, obviously I've held hands with them, but I meant more in this kind of sense.
Ah, of course.
Of course.
This kind of sense. Neither of us know what it is. But to be honest, this feels nice, so why bother questioning it? Don't question it, just accept it, and move on. Same. Quiet, comfortable silence falls between us. How is it that something as simple and basic as holding someone's hand can make you feel so warm and content inside? Because we're social creatures that communicate through touch. When you're touching somebody that you care about, it makes you feel some type of way. It also releases the hormones called oxytocin, which will make you become more in love and attached to the person you're holding hands with. Mostly just because it feels really freaking nice.
This isn't the only new feeling I've had, to be honest. Spending time with you over the past few months has proven to be a novel experience in many ways.
How so?
It must sound rather sad.
I tenderly rub my thumb over the back of Yuri's hand. You can say it, Yuri. There's no judgment here.
The feeling of having a friend. Knowing that there's someone out there who actually cares about me and wants to spend time with me. It's something I've never really felt before.
Huh? Really? Not even with the other club members?
Oh, I'm friends with the girls, of course. What I'm trying to say is that, well, our friendship feels a lot deeper than the bonds I have with those three. I get along with Natsuki, Sari, and Monica. We can talk about things, but...
She looks away.
With you, it feels like you truly want to be my friend.
Well, yeah, but I also want to be a little bit more than your friend.
I feel like I can count on you, more so than I could count on the others. And not to say that I don't value them or anything.
Ah, I think I know what you're saying. Like, I'm friends with them as well, but I do feel a connection with you that I don't have with the others. Even with Sayori, which is saying something.
You really mean that?
Of course I do. But I find it strange that I'm your first, proper friend. I've thought someone like you would have plenty of close friendships.
Someone like me?
Yeah, someone so kind, so thoughtful, so intelligent, and so interesting. Like so kind, thoughtful, intelligent, sexy. Interesting. She smiles sadly.
You're too kind, Killin. I just wish that other people see me the way you do.
Before we get a chance to pursue that somewhat mysterious sentence any further, Yuri nudges me and points toward a building. Oh, I've seen this building before. This was a change of perspectives.
This is the tower, yes?
Oh, yeah, it is. Let's head inside and pay before we head up. Oh, this is nice. After what feels like a billion flights of steps, we're finally at the top. Yuri is huffing just as I am, which makes me chuckle slightly. Looks like we're both as unfit as each other. Also, one, this does look like the tower. And two, they don't have an elevator.
Wow. The view from up here is incredible.
As I gaze over the edge, I'm afforded a lovely view of the entire city. The small pinpricks of yellow light contrast beautifully against the darkness of the sky. Yuri walks over to the edge of the balcony. Her face lights up in awe as she takes in the sights, and honestly, it's hard to tell what's more beautiful. I take my place next to her and instinctively reach for her hands. The shyness in her face is still detectable, but a newfound sense of confidence has largely taken its place. Looking over the city with Yuri's hand in mine makes me feel nostalgic, in a way. Almost like I'm looking over every memory, every moment, and every event of my life. It's rare that I feel this contemplative and reflective, but there's no denying how enjoyable it feels. Getting lost in thought, but not all alone, idly thinking about anything and everything. It's a mental bliss that resonates perfectly with the girl I'm standing with.
Qilin.
Her voice is soft and gentle, as if sensing the immersion of the moment and being weary to disrupt it.
Do you ever think about all the decisions you've made, all the actions you've taken, all the things you've said, and all the friendships and bonds you've made?
Well, yeah, every decision I made in my life has led me to this point in time where I'm up here on the Skytrain New Year's Eve with the object of my affection looking over the city. Sometimes, it's not often, but moments like these make me quite reflective.
I like to do the same. All those choices, decisions, and actions, they make us who we are today.
I completely stand by that.
Are you happy with the choices you've made?
Right now? Definitely. Are you? She looks away for a moment.
I think it's safe to say that everyone has their regrets, things they could have done differently, and would have produced a better result. Things that they wish they didn't say in an argument, things they wish they told people while they could. But I think people forget about the things they're happy with, the things that they would never trade for the world. And
she takes a deep breath.
This moment is definitely one of them.
She scoots closer to me. At this point, our hips are touching, and the attractive scent of her perfume wafts its way to my nose. Yes. Bring on the moment. The moment is close at hand. The truth will soon be shown. Oh, the temptation to just grab her and kiss her right now. I agree 100%, Yuri. There's things I regret too. The past year hasn't been great, with the divorce and the loneliness. I turn to face her. But all of that is in the past now. Now I'm up here, holding hands with a beautiful girl, ready to celebrate the new year. An intense blush covers Yuri's face, and she looks away for a moment or two. When she looks back at me, there's a coy smile on her face.
I never knew you were this romantic.
We steadily stand closer and closer. I can feel her warm breath on my face. Closer. Until... BANG! No, we got cucked again! No! We got cucked the second time! Ah! Bro, I hate this. We got cucked the second time. Oh! The loud sound of a firework going off makes us both jump. The familiar feeling of disappointment returns, but only for a moment. The intense colors and fervent display of the first round of fireworks were too good to ignore. Oh, wow. Oh, dang. Look at that picture. Ain't that one romantic looking picture? Oh, man, that is just awesome. Also, why is MC so tall? I'm pretty sure Yuri's a little bit taller than him. But, never mind. That's okay. This is still a great picture. I took my screenshots already. This is gorgeous. The once dark sky explodes into life, quite literally. Illuminated by a magnificent display of reds, yellows, greens, and blues, all fighting for dominance in the canvas that is the night sky. As the sounds roar, Yuri slides up to me, resting the back of her head on my neck as she looks up into the dazzling display. Despite the loudness and brightness of the pyrotechnics, they don't feel all that overwhelming. In a way, They feel like they're our fireworks. Our own celebration of not just the new year, but a personal celebration of the newfound relationship between Yuri and I. With the rainbow of colors dancing across the atmosphere, there's the word atmosphere, it's hard to believe that the skies were a dark blue, were empty dark blue just a few moments ago. I could even see the sight in front of me reflected in Yuri's violet eyes. Another color I could get lost in.
These are breathtaking. I've seen New Year's fireworks before, but only on television. Never like this. I feel like I'm up there with them.
I knew it'd be worth the intense cardio to get here. Which one is your favorite?
Oh, there's so many good choices. I like that little purple one. It's not as big or as bold as some of the others, but it's a sight to behold in its own right.
I figured you would say the purple one. It's a good choice. I'm a sucker for the big ones, though. The way they shoot up, and you know there's going to be a big explosion, makes it worth the wait. A smaller firework whizzes by, moving horizontally across the sky. Another whirls by in a frantic spiral, shooting a luminous light as it goes. Another takes the form of a shooting star. No matter where you are, you would like to see who you would truly be, leaving a glistening trail in its wake.
Ah, did you see that one, Qilin? I love how it's meant to illuminate a shooting star. It must be so fun to design fireworks, knowing that your creations will awe and amaze people.
There's an almost childlike sense of playfulness in her voice, the kind I normally associate with Sayori. It's refreshing to see such pure, innocent joy in her. Eventually these fireworks start to wear off. With one last huge explosion, the yellow light flickers out, leaving the night sky to remain empty once more. Worth it, huh?
Definitely. Oh, Qilin, this was perhaps the best way to start off the new year. Thank you for everything.
Now the show's over, we're pretty much back to where we were before we were interrupted. With my heart hammering away, my face inches closer and closer to Yuri's, and this time, I know full well there won't be anything to get in the way. I hope not, if we get cut the third time. I close my eyes to feel warm, soft lips against mine. Yes! 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 We did it! We did it, ladies and gentlemen, we did it! Oh, we did it. Finally, we get the payoff we've been looking for so long. We finally get the payoff. We went from being cucked on Christmas to bringing in the new year with a bang. The feeling is indescribable. It just feels so right. Our love is so right. The pace is slow and passionate, and I'm able to easily match her rhythm. Yuri hums contentedly as I hold her lips and pull her closer to me. Her hands are linked around the back of my neck, pulling me into the kiss. I gently rest my hands on her neck and the side of her face. The softness of her skin matches the softness of her lips. After a while, we eventually break apart. With her face this close to mine, I can see every eyelash, and more worryingly, the tears that are forming in her eyes. Yuri? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Sorry, it was just a really intense moment for me.
Hey, it's okay. Take your time. It's pretty overwhelming on my end as well. I'm here for you, and I'm not going anywhere. She clings to me a little harder.
Do you really mean that?
Of course I do.
Even if I were to show you the parts of me that I'm ashamed of, would you still stay with me?
Yuri? That's not even a question. Of course I would. Well, you don't know what she's talking about. You don't know what she's talking about. Though I will say this will be a test on how well he can handle this stuff. I wouldn't leave you for anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
She wraps her arms around me and rests her head on my chest. I'm a little taken aback, but take the opportunity to plant a kiss on top of her head. I'm curious though, what exactly did she mean by parts of me that I'm ashamed of? Nah, now isn't the time to ask. So, I guess we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, huh?
Yes, I suppose we are.
The new semester is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it most definitely will be.
With a smile, she gently grasps my hand and leads me down towards the door. I'm still hardly daring to believe my luck. Yuri actually kissed me? Well, it was bound to happen at some time, my G. It was gonna happen at after the Christmas party ended, but Sari had to cuck us. It was gonna happen earlier, but the fireworks cucked us. But now, third time's the charm. We finally get the payoff we've been looking for. I must be the luckiest guy in the world. Well, it certainly feels like it. Wow, man, I'm just so glad that we finally got the payoff. It took, what, about 6 months? From the start of the club, which I guess was, what, August? No, September. Went from, like, September to January is where it took to go from getting to know Yuri to, boom, boyfriend, girlfriend. Which is interesting time span. Also, we start Act 3. As my eyes slowly flutter open and the last vestiges of sleep leave my body, I run my hands through my hair, thinking about what my life is in its current state. Compared to how last January started, it's definitely a lot different. For one, I actually have a girlfriend now. We kissed, and it's a given that we like each other, so why do I still feel a little uneasy? Is it because I still find it hard to believe Yuri likes a guy like me? A clever, gorgeous, sophisticated girl like that, who also has self-anxiety issues and doesn't really get along well with other people, so the first time she found somebody she really gets along with, she was totally down for? Self-doubt really has a way of eating you up inside. There's no point in dwelling on it, Qilin. She chose you for a reason, okay? Yeah, this year has gone off to a great start, so let's keep it that way. A slow smile creeps onto my face as I get out of bed and start my morning routine. It's going to be an interesting year. Oh, most definitely. Well, one thing I could do without is the bitter cold. It's always freezing around this time of year. At least I'll have Yuri to warm me up. Her love for snuggling up indoors with a book in hand might just come in very handy. Oh, ooh! Oh, that sounds nice. Oh, if only I had a girlfriend to do that with. Oh well. At least I could read about it to entertain everybody else with. She's also so warm whenever we hug. Really interesting patch of wall, huh? In an attempt to hastily break out of my trance, I am making a mental effort to bring myself to focus on the girl in front of me. What? Emmy giggles.
Come on, this is the first time in a while that I've been early, so I want to see the look on Sakurai's face.
I grin. Lead the way.
How's your Christmas break anyway?
Pretty good, yeah. She must have picked up on the happiness in my voice as she bounces on the spot excitedly. I can tell what her next question is going to be.
Oh? And why is that?
Well, it's always nice spending Christmas with some friends, you know? There's a mischievous smile on her face that puts me slightly on edge.
Especially when those friends are girls, huh?
And of course, that mischievous smile on her face is followed by a knowing smirk. What are you trying to say, Emmy?
Yuri, Qilin. Wait, that's her name, right? The girl with the purple hair?
Yeah, why?
Oh, nothing. I saw you guys together on New Year's Eve, that's all.
Well, there goes my hopes of being subtle. Tokyo's a small town, I guess, because Emmy just happened to see Yuri and I together on New Year's Eve.
So, tell me everything.
Thankfully, I'm straight up telling Emmy everything as the classroom door swings open and Sakurai strolls in. After setting down his papers, he turns to address the class.
Morning, everyone. Hope you all had a good break and all that.
Qilin certainly did.
I nudge her in the ribs.
Oh, and why is that?
Come on, Brain, think of something. You can somehow convince a girl like Yuri to like me. You must be capable. I'm just, well, I did a lot of reading on 20th century history, so I'm, in a great position to hit the ground running this semester. Sakura doesn't look entirely convinced, but he nods.
Oh? Well, I'm sure you'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that are coming up then.
He chortles and turns to face the blackboard. I glare at Emmy, only to be met with a childlike grin.
The 1920s and 30s, guys. Believe me, these are some interesting years. With the roaring 20s and the Great Depression and all that. Great times.
And just like that, the lesson's begun.
It was a lit time, fam. Believe you me.
Sometime later, I find myself wandering down the club room. As I get closer to the door, I spot a familiar figure. A nervous smile works its way onto my face.
Good morning, Killin.
Morning, Yuri. It's nice to see you again. She smiles shyly. There is no hiding the red blush that crept up onto her face.
And you, Killin?
There's an awkward silence for a moment. Of course, it's a given Yuri doesn't really know how to take a compliment. Although that part is what makes her so endearing. Shall we go inside? I don't know about you, but I'm kinda hungry. She looks relieved at the change of topic.
Yes, I was just about to suggest that. It's rather convenient timing that we were both let out at the same time, don't you think?
That or both our teachers happen to be hungry. You're the analytical one, so I'll leave that to you. With a small laugh, she opens the door and leads us through. To my surprise, we're the last ones in. Monika and Sayori look deep in conversation about something, while Natsuki has her face firmly hidden behind some manga. The girls look over, well, Monika and Sayori do, and give us a brief smile before turning back to their conversation. Shall we go over and talk to them? Yuri pauses for a moment before her eyes briefly go over to the other club members. She eventually shakes her head.
Well, I wouldn't. It seems like they're all engrossed in their own thing.
Fair enough. Works for me. We both take a seat and pull out our food. Unsurprisingly, Yuri's meal looks a lot fancier than mine. I motion towards it. Homemade, I'm guessing?
Yes. You can never go wrong with a vegetable stir-fry paired with rice. The combination of flavors are always satisfying to the taste buds.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Oh, I don't sound like a broken record, do I?
No. Huh? No, not at all. I just remembered it because I thought it was really interesting how food meant so much to you. She doesn't look entirely convinced, but she starts eating nonetheless. A brief silence falls between us. Even though she's looking at her food, I get a shrewd suspicion that her focus is elsewhere.
Say, Killin. Have you given much thought into what you want to do after school?
Probably go home and watch some anime. Why? We briefly make eye contact. Seeing Yuri narrow her eyes, trying to figure as if I was being sarcastic or serious, is strangely enjoyable, in a silly sort of way. Eventually, she realizes I'm joking and smiles as she shakes her head softly.
You know what I mean.
Truthfully, I don't really know. It's not really something I spend a lot of time thinking about, if I'm being honest. I probably should give it some thought, but I guess it just isn't high on my priority list. My eyes wander over to Sayori and Monika. Sayori looks like she's a little sad about something, while Monika is apparently trying to cheer her up. The sight of them talking makes me feel grateful, but also a little guilty. As much as I enjoy spending time with Yuri, I haven't really seen much of Sayori over the past few months. Well, you did just spend Christmas with her at the Christmas party. Still, it's good to know that she has other friends, right? It's not a good feeling. You kind of ditch your friends and go hook up with someone else. I mean, oh well.
Given how we're only second years, it's understandable.
I return my gaze to Yuri. Judging by the look on your face, you probably spent a little more time than I have on the matter.
I suppose you could say that.
Let me guess. You want to go to university? To study something like Japanese?
Was I really that obvious?
It was just a really fitting pick, that's all.
I suppose it is.
I imagine you're excited to go?
To university? Yes and no, actually. On one hand, university can be such a stimulating place. the amount of things you can learn while you're there. At high school, you are naturally limited by what your teachers choose to teach. From what I've gathered, you're given much more independence at the undergraduate level.
Yeah, that's true. You do get to choose whatever path you want to go down, and if you don't have a choice, you have at least a couple years to figure out where you want to go. At least in America, anyway. I don't know how it works overseas.
But on the other hand, I've been at school almost all my life. To make that jump, especially if I were to go to a new part of the country, well, it definitely evokes a lot of anxiety. There's a comfort to be had in routine and know exactly what to expect, well, for the most part, with school. Humans naturally dislike change, and as exciting as I think higher education will be, it comes at a cost.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, I definitely see what you mean. But I think it's something we'll have to go through at some point, right? Even if we just go straight into work after leaving school. My eyes wander over to Natsuki. Her position hasn't changed in the slightest. Man, that manga must be really damn good. Yuri follows my line of sight. Her eyes land on Natsuki as well. Given the already thoughtful look on her face, it's hard to tell if her thoughts have changed.
Natsuki is only a first year, so I suppose there wouldn't be much sense in having this conversation with her.
I don't think my post-school plans have crossed my mind, but have ever crossed my mind when I first got into high school.
What about Sayori? Have you ever spoken about this with her?
Not really. We only began talking to one another a couple of months ago, and I catch myself in time. Mention that Sayori and I haven't spent much time to ourselves because I spent so much time with Yuri. We just make Yuri feel bad. And oh, well, I guess there just hasn't been a right time. Besides, she's never really struck me as someone who really gave that much thought to her future. Kinda like me. Whereas someone like Monica, well, the impression I get from her is that she's probably got a plan. Well, I don't think so, based on that last conversation we had with her about this. I chuckle to myself, remembering how my parents used to say that my school years would flash by in the blink of an eye. I've had this conversation with Mom and Dad before. It was a while ago, though. I think they wanted me to go to university, so I guess our plans aren't too far off. You know, they always say that, and to my parents' credit, they are kind of right about that, because as long as school feels while you're in the process of going to school, you look back at it like when you're close to being done or when you're done, you're like, dang, where's the time gone? Like, I was just this old when I graduated high school, and now I'm this old with a degree already, and then you're wondering what the heck do you do now? Yeah, man, it's just, time is crazy. Life is crazy. Living in general is crazy. But I guess it's also part of the fun. Guessing you had a similar conversation with your parents, right? Yuri?
Yes, I think so.
The vague, uncertain nature of her answer throws me off guard for a moment, but I'm not given much time to push it as Monica suddenly turns to us.
Hey, you two. I'm sorry about not saying hi just now. I was a little preoccupied.
It's all good. Everyone seems to be doing their own thing, so I don't think anyone really noticed. You okay, Sayori? You seemed a little down when we walked in.
Oh, I'm fine. What made you think that?
I don't know. Guess it just looked like Monica was trying to cheer you up about something. Just how I interpreted the situation, that's all.
There's nothing wrong, silly. How's your New Year's Eve?
I glanced toward Yuri. There's a faint blush on her cheeks. It was really something. The look on Sayori's face goes from quizzical to understanding as she puts two and two together.
Oh, you two, you're together, aren't you?
I reach out and gently weave Yuri's hand into mine. Oh no. Oh no. We're just gonna rub it in Sayori's face. Yuri looks so content. Monica looks happy that we finally grew a pair and asked Yuri out. Sayori's gonna be so sad. Yeah, we are.
I knew there was something going on between you two. I'm so happy for you guys.
Sayori's smile is so huge, it's almost bordering on insincere. That's because it is insincere. She's secretly dying inside, but she's not trying to show it.
Great. And that's precisely what this club needed. Lovey-dovey mushy stuff. I'm surprised you didn't notice said mushy stuff with how absorbed into your manga you seem to be. It doesn't block out the sound of people kissing, you know.
Nobody was kissing Natsuki. It sounds like it came from personal experience. She tips her manga down to glare at me. I grin and raise my free hand up in a comedic display of self-defense.
To be fair, she does have a point. PDAs are a major no-no for me.
Don't worry, we'll save all the physical stuff for when you guys aren't around. Way to put your foot in your mouth. Now you look like a clown. Oh no. Oh no. And then they all just look very awkward. What? Why are you all looking at me like that?
You never really think before you open your mouth, do you?
What do you mean? The sound of the bell ringing cuts off my question short. And soon after, the sound of scraping chairs fills the air as everyone starts packing up. It's suddenly as we're heading towards the door, do I realize what I just said? Do I realize why what I just said caused so much awkwardness? Oh! No, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. Guys! But Monica, Natsuki, and Sayori are already gone. Desperately, I turned to Yuri. You knew what I meant, right? I awkwardly rubbed the back of my head. Yuri?
You know, you're quite endearing when you're flustered.
She smiles and heads off. Oh, I get it, because that's what we say about her. Oh, this game is on. Oh, man. Oh, that was pretty special, actually. You know what? We're off to a great start here, though I can't help but feeling this story is going to take some kind of drastic turn before it's over. Alright, well, we've been going on long enough. I think this is good of a place to wrap up this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This episode was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying myself so far now that this story is getting interesting. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe to stay tuned for future episodes on the channel. And hit the like button if you didn't hit the like video already. If you got to this point in the video, I want you to type bang in the comment section because this episode certainly was a banger. In any case, I just want to thank you guys again for everything. It's been real. It's been fun. It's your boy JQilin. Ciao for now.